What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the J&D Podcast and our preview for the week ahead. But before we preview, we have to look behind us from what we missed. So, Darren,
Yep.
I want to hear your reactions, your Panthers versus the Saints.
I'm like, I don't know whether to be disappointed or whether to be like, honestly, like not surprised. Like it's one of those things where like I didn't expect us to be good, and especially I didn't expect us to beat the Saints because they do have a really good defense. But like for us to look as bad as we do, man, it's very frustrating. Like we can't block for Bryce. Like Bryce is, he's showing me some flashes. He definitely looked better than I thought he was going to look this year. Um, but our guys can't get open. Let's be honest. Like our guys can't get open. We can't run the ball with Miles Sanders, so he's essentially useless. Hayden Hurst is like our only source of offense besides Adam Thielen. So like, can't do much with that. DJ Chark is just a deep guy. He's not running any routes for real. The Saints they showed us a lot of what we can't do, and honestly, it was a little like disheartening to be honest with you. Like, unless our defense held pretty well the majority of the game. I think we need to get Horn back, we need to get JC back, and we just need to. Honestly, let's just get Bryce his rest, man, for the season. Let's just let him throw the ball at this point because not like we're gonna win anything. So, shit.
Yeah, that game was not really good from the start to the end. Bryce is now
It
hurt.
happens.
It's nothing
Yeah.
serious, but
Not serious, yeah. It'll be fine.
we were seeing with Anthony Richardson how he's been hurt back-to-back weeks. Maybe it's nothing that like affects them later on their career, but
Yeah.
it's something you don't really want to happen. You always want your guys to stay healthy, especially for the first year. But
Isn't CJ the only rookie not to get hurt, or only quarterback not to get hurt so far? CJ? It might be CJ.
yeah,
It might be the only one.
yeah, so far of like the starting ones.
The starting
Yeah,
one, of course, yeah.
yeah. So surprisingly against or with
Which is
that Texas
insane
offensive
because
line.
offensive line is garbage.
Yeah. But the Panthers haven't looked great. I mean, I didn't expect much from them either. I mean, you're the Panthers fan, but like as a neutral fan, I looked at their team. Adam Thielen and DJ Chark didn't do anything for me. They weren't like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, this is a team to watch." I didn't really think at any point they were going to win that division, and it doesn't
Nah,
look like it this
I
year.
expected I expected Thielen to be a little bit better, man. He looks 100, man. Like he looks old, man, out there. Like just
Yeah,
I expected a lot more from DJ, but you know what? I'm not mad because we have a lot of pieces for the future. Like I like the upside. I like Jonathan Mingo. He's gonna be a stud. He gives me like very much AJ Brown vibes, which is good
Mhm.
for Bryce. Hopefully we can continue to share up the offensive line. I love Ikem. I love me some Icky. You know what I'm saying? My boy on that left side. We have to continue to share up the rest of the offensive line and get a running game. Hopefully,
Yeah,
we can hopefully we can end the year off pretty hot, pretty moving in the right direction. So next year we can bring some pieces in and
yeah.
let
Carry
Bryce do his
some.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
uh, it'll be difficult. I just don't
yeah,
see the team doing much, but they can surprise me. Bryce was the first overall pick for a reason. Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. Quincy's on the side, but he can improve. Steelers and Browns, man. The other game on Monday night. How did you feel about that game, man?
That was a game.
Talk
That
about
was,
dumpster fire.
that was a bad game from both teams. Obviously, Nick Chubb going out for the rest of the season
That
sucks.
one was gruesome.
It was a terrible injury. You hate to see that. And he's a very likable guy in my eyes.
Yeah.
On a
Me
very
too.
unlikable Browns team. He was like a guy that I was like very happy to root
Yeah.
for. And he's just
Yeah.
so good. And it was
Yeah.
just a gross injury, man.
Disgusting.
Jerome Ford didn't do a bad job. The one
But he did
problem
good.
is Deshaun Watson did a terrible job. It was a rough
You
game.
know,
It was a
I
rough
was
game.
just gonna
Or
oh
you
my
go.
bad. I was just gonna get into that actually, like the Deshaun Watson. I was actually gonna ask you, like, we know what Deshaun got paid, highest guarantee money in history. Do you think right now is it too early to say that he was not worth that deal? Because he looked pretty bad. I can't lie. Like
I'm
he's
gonna be
got
honest.
I,
Or
I think the
I'm
only
gonna
two
be
quarterbacks
honest.
playing worse than him is like Bryce, starting quarterback. I think it's Bryce, and he's a rookie, and Zach Wilson. I think they're the only two quarterbacks playing worse than Deshaun Watson right now.
I mean, there's probably worse. Like Jimmy G's not really the great,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're splitting hairs at this point. But when he signed that contract, I don't think there were many people that were convinced at the
Yeah.
time that it was worth it. And we're seeing it now. You know, he's regressed from like his 2019 form, I think, or 2020, those years, he was really good. And he was on track to be one of those players to earn that
Oh,
kind of
yes.
contract. But then, the whole thing goes down, the whole
Yeah.
scandal. He
It's
gets
odd, man.
sits out an entire year. That's gonna hurt you at some point mentally and just ability wise. And we're seeing now he's just not the same quarterback he was,
So,
and it's not looking like he's gonna get back to that.
yeah.
And I can't say I'm mad. I can't say I'm mad.
So
You
you're not
know,
how to sound like her. You're not how to sound like her. You're telling
no,
me.
I'm not. For the Steelers though, that offense looked rough again. Matt Canada is up there with one of the worst offensive coordinators in the league, if not the.
Garbage. Garbage.
Uh, Najee Harris, horrible. Every time you see him run, he looks like
It's
he's
just,
trying to lose yards. It feels like he looks like he's trying to gain the least amount of yards possible, and
yeah.
it's just weird because like he was good at Alabama. He was a first round pick, but he's being outshined or
Hmm.
outshone by Jalen Warren, who is nothing special, I would say.
Yeah, he's not.
Kenny Pickett coming into the season had, some expectations to be like better.
Yeah.
Like people
Mhm.
he could have made that big step and become like a
Yeah.
top 15 at least quarterback. And I
Yep.
still think he can do that, but under his current offense, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. To agree with you. Yeah, like Najee Harris actually looked not bad last year. Like he looked pretty good. He was a top 15 running back at the end of last year. You can say I think he was a top 15 running back at the end of last year.
I
Kenny Pickett
don't know.
definitely ended off the season well. We all expected George Pickens to take that jump this year. We know who Deontay Johnson is. We expected the offense to be a little bit better, especially with Pat Fryermuth as well taking a jump. But yeah, so far they looked garbage. I saw a stat actually, which is crazy. They they put up -7 yards in the fourth quarter on offense and won the
Oh,
game.
yeah.
That's insane. That's insane, man.
They were down going to the fourth quarter, I think. It's
Yeah.
just somehow the Browns offense was worse. I
Yeah.
it was an ugly game, man. The Steelers and Browns defenses both looked
Yeah.
pretty good. But that
Yeah.
Browns team just did not look like the same one from the week before where they beat the Bengals.
They look shaky in that game too. I think the only reason why
Did.
Deshaun's not getting they look shaky. Their defense definitely carried them. I think like what it is like the only reason why Deshaun's not getting worse criticism is because Kenny Pickett decided to play worse than he did. That's not saying much. Like they both played terrible. Kenny Pickett just played a little bit worse. His defense
Yeah.
basically carried him. Yeah. The only difference between Kenny Pickett and Deshaun was Deshaun, you can't lose a game like that, especially with the defense getting a majority of the Steelers points. And he threw the pick, right? He gave him a fumble for 7. The one TJ Watt picked up and scored for 7. I gave him the
Yeah.
lead. Like, you can't lose a game like that, man. Especially when the offense puts up -7 yards in the fourth quarter and you lose that game. I agree with you. Like he's starting to kind of not look worth of that contract that he got. I mean, of course, like hindsight 2020. Before then, I think I'm a little bit different than you. I think he played really well in Houston. I think he did
Yeah.
deserve it. Like he was on that trajectory. Of course, like the whole massage scandal definitely halted his growth a little bit. Like now he's playing with a little bit of rust. But like I think he low key did deserve that contract, but he's definitely not looking worth it right now. It's actually like a really bad contract, probably the worst in history.
Yeah. And that's how you start to lose the locker room is when like your
Yep.
defense is just playing out and you can see who the problem is.
Hmm.
And you know, they have a pretty hot backup quarterback. A lot of people love him.
Yeah.
It is my bias. I sort of, but I wouldn't be surprised, and I would love to see some DTR action later
Low
this.
key. Low
If
key.
this team isn't finding ways to win games they should be winning, like that Steelers game, the fans. I know a lot of Browns fans are already turned on Deshaun,
Oh
and
yeah, of
don't
course.
like him as a person, or B because his poor performances just haven't been there.
Yeah.
So there is a movement internally, I'm sure, to get DTR on the field, which would be pretty
I'm not
fun.
gonna lie. I don't think you can do that though if you're the Browns, man. Because like that contract is
Well,
just too crazy, man.
the front office, yeah, the front
You can't
office
justify,
wants to happen.
you know, like you can't justify like giving somebody that big of a contract and then putting him on the bench. Especially like if they're like someone in the middle of the pack. I think from right now with how bad the Bengals are playing, unless they catch fire, the Browns should be second in the division. I don't think they beat the Ravens. Hopefully they have two pretty easy games. The Texans and I forget who the other team they play. That's really not good. They should easily win, but then you have to go play Baltimore. You know,
Tough game.
yeah, yeah. So like you're hoping to end off this 5 game stretch they're on right now, 4-1. They already have one loss.
Yeah.
I don't know if they beat the Ravens. The Ravens look pretty good right now. Lamar looks really good right now. So me, I can see them going 3-2 simply because their next 2 games are kind of cakewalks. But like I think Deshaun's not playing well. He needs to definitely step it up for sure. And these next 2 games need to be his time to catch fire, get his reps under him, get his feet under him for sure.
Yeah. It's looking scary for them. You know who's not
Yeah.
looking scary for, though? 49ers, baby. Those boys rolling. First
That
half
game
is
was
like you want to see a little more from them because they're playing the Giants.
yep.
But by the end of the game, it was like, yeah,
No,
that was expected.
no. I think that game was a little closer than I wanted it to be. I thought it was gonna be a little more of a blowout.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I don't want to say blowout, but I thought it was gonna be a little bit more over earlier than it
Yeah.
was.
That's
I
same
think
with
the
me.
game, yeah, like it was a little nip and tuck for a little too long. But ultimately, the 49ers end up smacking the Giants because Giants are poverty. New York, honestly, no disrespect to New York, but all of New York right now is poverty, especially as far as football teams are concerned. Um, you honestly like the 49ers just look so good, man. Like, and especially with the Cowboys now losing Diggs, the 49ers have definitely taken the leap to being the best team in the league right now. Now, I thought it was nip and tug. I've said on the podcast multiple times. I thought it was nip and tug between those two. But especially if they lose Diggs. We kind of got to see how they play. Without Diggs now, I don't I don't see any team right now better than the 49ers, to be honest with you. Maybe the Dolphins. Maybe the Dolphins.
Okay. Well, we can get to that later.
Yeah. Yeah.
But next, we have what's going on tomorrow. We got a lot of good college games tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starting off early, we got Florida State versus Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
14 versus ACC rival. Do you see Clemson doing anything that game?
Man, FSU walking through them. Florida State walking through them. Clemson just doesn't look good anymore. Yeah, so like I think Florida State just walks them. I got Florida State to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I might get hate for this, but the next game I think will also not be close. Oregon versus Colorado.
Mm,
I and
towards
this
who?
I would have said this before Travis Hunter got hurt.
Oh,
I don't think this game is going to be close. Okay,
yeah.
if
No,
Travis Hunter is healthy, it does not change the result. Maybe it's a 1 or 2 scores closer, but
mhm.
in Oregon, Colorado is going to walk in and get smacked sideways. And that's going to happen to them again next week against USC. These next
Yep.
2 weeks, they're going to get humbled.
Yep.
If I'm wrong, I will eat my words. I will admit everything, but just don't see a world where they end these next 2 weeks with a win.
I'm not gonna lie. If Deion commands to come out these next 2 games with a 2-0 record, man, he might be the best coach in college football, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because like with Travis Hunter, I'm agreeing with you. I didn't see them beating Oregon, even with Travis Hunter. Their defense looks extremely shaky, but like without Travis Hunter, their defense just looks easily torchable. Like Charles Sanders is your only bright spot on that defense now. Yeah, I think they get very humbled. I think like I mean, okay, I wouldn't say it's humble simply because you are missing Travis Hunter. That is kind of a big excuse. That is a big excuse, right? You can say, "Oh man, with Travis Hunter, we might have won."
Yeah.
Of course, we don't think that would have, but like they may have. I mean, yeah, like I got Oregon and USC beating them. I think Caleb Williams has a field day on that defense.
Oh,
Like
that is
next
that's gonna
weekend.
be a bad game for Oregon
Yeah,
or for
I think
Colorado.
it is.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
tough.
me too.
Yeah. Next we have Alabama versus Ole Miss. Alabama trying to say we're still a good team. They're trying to hold on to that relevancy.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
You're not
Let's
sold
let,
anymore. You're done on
let's
them.
call, let's call a spade, man. They're garbage. Okay, well, okay. I don't want to say garbage simply because they have Nick Saban, man, but they're not beating anybody. Let's be honest. Like they damn near might lose this game to Ole Miss. To
Do you
be
think they
completely
could?
honest,
Do you think they're going to lose this game?
I think the scene what I saw against USF South Florida last weekend. It's just I don't see them being Ole Miss. To be honest with you, I see them like this. Just needs to be a year where you kind of just find your running, kind of like my Panthers. Find your running man. Just try to be ready for next season, man. They don't got it this year. To be
It's a
honest with you,
retooling kind of year.
they're not making no noise. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're still going to win that game. I would be surprised if Ole Miss wins, but if Ole Miss wins, it's gonna be really rough. It's gonna be really
You're gonna
bad.
be surprised.
I still have faith in Nick Saban. I still have faith in Nick Saban.
Did you not see how they
Right.
looked last weekend? They looked terrible.
Yes, I understand, but there's a saying in soccer: talent is temporary, class is permanent. Okay, and Nick
That's
Saban
true.
is class. I think they're still going to win this game, but it's it's going to be rough if they don't.
Man, Ole Miss is 3-0. They're not beating Ole Miss. I ain't gonna lie. No disrespect. I love
Yeah.
Saban. Saban's to me the greatest college coach of all time, but they're not winning.
Okay.
They're not.
Well, we can see who's right next week.
They barely beat them last year. Now I'm looking at it. They barely beat them last year. They were better last year. They barely beat them. But yeah, we'll see.
I gotta have faith. I gotta have faith. Never
I
want to count
respect it.
out Nick.
I respect it.
Yeah. Some other fun games that'll be coming up. We got the Pac-2 headed down head against each other. It's a ranked matchup, Number 14 Oregon State versus number
Yep.
21 Wazoo. It's a fun
Mm-hmm.
little matchup
Yeah.
for conference supremacy.
Yep.
Uh, Another conference matchup that has a little more stakes in, I guess. Iowa versus Penn State. Game for Penn State. They're trying to get their name in the national picture
Yep.
against, they could do it against a Big Ten opponent. If
All right.
Iowa pulls something off, they're always good with their defense. It's just always
Mhm.
their offense is going to let them down.
Yeah.
But I would expect Penn State to get through that one.
Yep. Penn State winner.
And
Did you say you picked for the Oregon State game? Did you pick
oh,
your
I
team?
didn't. Oregon State for that one. I'm not putting too
Yeah,
much.
me too. Okay. I got Oregon State and
Another,
Penn State winning as well.
another one I'm not going to put too much thought into, but will probably be a
Yeah.
fun game to at least watch for the first half is Texas Baylor. Little in-state rivalry there.
First
Baylor.
quarter. Let's not give them too much credit. First quarter. That's going to be good for a quarter.
Yeah. Baylor's looking real rough this
Me,
year.
man. I love me some Quinn Ewers. I love me some Quinn Ewers, man. I love me some Quinn Ewers. So I
Yeah.
got the money.
Baylor's just doing the thing that Baylor always does. One year they're really good, the other year they're terrible. They do this all the time. It's funny. One game
Remember when they were good?
they were good
Like when they
last
had
year.
RG3, they were actually decent.
Oh,
Like that feels so long ago,
well,
man.
it was long ago. It was like over a decade.
Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. One game that'll probably be closer is Ohio State versus Notre Dame. That's a big matchup.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Do
know
you
me,
think?
as an IU fan, I want to go with Notre Dame. Now, granted, I hate them way less than I do. We know we're not going to speak on them. Purdue. So I don't know. Just see how Ohio State looked against us. I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Now,
Really?
that might be a little underrated pick, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Ohio State.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a closeted Ohio State fan. Usually I find myself rooting for them,
Oh, wow.
but I'm not like officially a fan. But I still think they're going to win this game. I think they probably will end up in the playoffs at the end of this year. And this will be one of the games that they're like, yeah, we do those things. We beat the top 10 teams. But, Notre Dame does their thing. They got their new head coach from last year. If he gets this win, huge for the program in his first couple
Really
of years.
huge. Really huge.
It's out of the realm of possibility, but I have Ohio State.
Yes, sir.
And lastly, for college, we have the University of California, Los
I knew
Angeles.
he was gonna pick this in there. I knew he was gonna pick this in there.
But we're playing Utah. I believe it's at Utah, which is going to be really rough. That's the tough stadium to go into, the high altitude. I really like our team this year, but Utah is also a really good team. Like a really good team. They're that team that you're always scared to face. They're the team the prime example of why there would be an expanded playoffs, where you just never want to play these guys. They're USC's villain pretty much.
I agree.
I don't think UCLA will win this. I think Utah will win this. But if UCLA wins this, I'm not gonna say I'm surprised. All I'm gonna say. That's all.
At least you're being objective about your team.
Yeah, no,
I got Utah winning. Let's just be honest here. If UCLA wins, now unlike you, I would definitely be surprised if UCLA wins. I got Utah winning. Pretty easily. Your teams right now are in poverty. My team,
what?
well,
I mean, yeah. They are. Besides
Chargers and
UCLA. But
And the Angels. Oh,
well, hey, that
we'll
is a
get to them. We'll get
story
to them.
for another time. We are not there yet.
We'll get
We
to
can
them.
talk
We'll
about
get to
that
them.
later. Do not bring them up right now. That's for later.
Okay. All right, let's get to the NFL, man. Falcons versus Lions. The Lions definitely need to rebound against the very, very surprisingly hot Falcons. Well, okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to say surprisingly. I think only because I hate on them, because simply because they're my division. I think the Falcons look really good though. Bijan looks like the best. Honestly, you make the argument the best rookie, offensive and defensive in the league right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, their
Point.
defense looks really good with Jesse Bates, man. AJ Terrell, they look really good on defense. I got the Falcons definitely winning this matchup. How about yourself?
I am also, well, you're not, but I'm a fan of this Falcons team. They got a lot of players. Bijan definitely in that rookie of the year conversation. I think the other player that could be in there is like Zay Flowers on offense for right now.
Defensive bars. Yeah.
I think it's
Anthony
between
Richardson, if he
those.
didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I think it's between like those two right now.
Yeah.
But the Lions need this game. Like as
Yeah.
we were saying last week, if they want to prove that they are the NFC North champions that so many people thought they could be, this is the kind of game they need to win. This Falcon team
Mm-hmm.
is hot, but
Mm-hmm.
we still don't know if they're like actually going to be a good team yet. So this is
We
the
don't
kind of
know.
game to say these guys are fine, but we're better, and we are going to win this division. But
I mean, they
honestly,
beat. Oh, man, you keep going.
but honestly, I kind of want to see the Falcons win here. I'm going to pick the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, they beat your division mate last week.
Yeah.
That was a game. Lions lost in a very heartbreaking fashion, man. They fought their hearts out against the Seahawks. Definitely wait for them to bounce back. They got a good win against the Chiefs week one. You lose a heartbreaker. It's a good time to bounce back. Take the division for sure. Take the division. It looks very wide open right now. The Bears look
Yeah.
like poverty. Let's be honest. The Vikings are poverty. Let's be honest. And then you got them in the Packers right now. Those two are the only two teams right now for me in the
Yeah.
NFC North. Yeah, the Patriots versus the Jets, man. I think this is a very cut and dry game. Let's be
Yep.
honest. I think this is a very cut and dry. I think the Pats win pretty easily. Zach Wilson is just call a spade a spade. He's not it. Like talk about poverty, man. Like it's like
Hater. You're a hater.
like people had Hater. Did you not see him last week? Hey, look. I mean,
No,
okay,
no, no,
granted,
no.
he's
I've been
going
a
against the
hater on.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Granted, he's going against the Cowboys. I mean, but he didn't look good against the Bills either. Let's just be honest. I mean, I don't know what it is about him, man. Like they raved about him all off season. Oh, he looks so much better now. Oh my God, he's gonna take a step this year if we lose Aaron. Oh man, yeah, now he looks garbage again. And then Mac Jones, for some reason, Mac Jones is just so I can't stand Mac Jones because in a 2-minute offense he looks like Tom Brady, and then the rest of the game he makes dumb decisions. It's like, what are you throwing? I mean, it's just I got the pass one, but I think Bill Belichick and the defense is going to shut out that person. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the Patriots have been pretty competitive in both their games.
Yeah.
I This is like I saw a stat like the earliest into the season they've lost back-to-back home or lost their second home game like in over a decade for sure.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
a minute. Bill Belichick is going to have those boys on their ass. And this
Mm-hmm.
Jets team offense, Zach Wilson, I was never a big fan of him, but I have Garrett Wilson on my fantasy team. I have to be a fan of him now. But no, I think the Jets will probably just not have enough to get past the Patriots.
Yeah. I think I know that's how you're talking about. I think the last time they lost back-to-back home games was the Super Bowl win, actually. No one. I think that's the one you're talking about. So I mean, who knows? Who knows? Bill Belichick might pull one out his ass. Who knows?
Yeah.
The next game, Bills and Commanders. Sam Howell's look really good. Honestly, their offense, I know what the defense is going to do. Their defense is going to always look really good. You got Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, who like the best D tackle in the league best D tackle in the league last week. Of course, you got Chase Young, Montez Sweat still, but I think the Bills are just too much, man. I think they have too much firepower for Sam Howell and them to compete with them. I got the Bills winning pretty easily, honestly, pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders, they're off to a 2-0 start,
Yeah,
So maybe
granted.
they could be like one of those teams, that just convince themselves that they are like a really good team. For all we know, they're not. And they're
Mm-hmm.
just on a, nice little 2-win streak. But, I'm a big Sam Howell guy. That offense has some pieces, Jahan Dotson,
Yeah,
Terry
yeah,
McLaurin, Brian
yeah.
Robinson. They're they're a team of like very fine players,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, they're like, you like that have them on your team, but you're not like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish I had that guy on my team so badly type of guys,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think the Bills can get away with it, but it'll be a fun game, I think.
It'll be a fun game, yeah, for sure. Speaking of LA teams, man, your Chargers versus the Vikings, the battle of the frauds. Let's just put it out there, man. Honestly, I don't even want to pick the Vikings, man. But with the way your defense is looking torch right now, Kirk Cousins might
Oh,
have a field day on y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Him and JJ are probably gonna have a field day on you guys. Oh, I don't know, man, because the Vikings just their defense looks terrible too. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna be nice here, and I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
aw, thank
I think
you.
Justin I think Justin Herbert can slightly outplay Kirk Cousins. Let's be honest. I think y'all defense won't be that bad where you guys will just get. I don't know. I can't even say that, man. Our defense looks terrible. Um, I think you guys barely escaped with a win. I think it's just a walk off field goal, but I definitely think it's a shootout though.
Oh, that
Our defense
sounds
is terrible.
electric.
Our
Uh,
defense is terrible.
I want to start this off by issuing a slight apology to not the Chargers, to Justin Herbert. I ragged on him a little too much. I saw some stats that were eye-opening. If you look up the percentage each quarterback has at leading, like successfully leading a game-winning drive, it goes Patrick Mahomes number one, quarterbacks who are facing Justin Herbert number two, and then like
Oh
Tua
God.
number three. So it's not all Herbert's fault. And
Oh
I
man.
saw he converts at like pretty much like the same rate as most other people. He's like 10 for like
Yeah.
20 or 11 for 20, but he's
Yeah.
just forced to do it so many more times. And it happens in so many more times. So
Mhm.
I want to issue a slight apology to him. Sometimes he can't get it done, but it's his defense does not do him any service.
Yeah.
It's bad. But I think both teams, Vikings and Chargers, desperate for a win.
Yeah.
Both came into seasons with expectations. Vikings made a blockbuster move, getting Cam Akers, the most efficient running back in the league, for a late pick swap in 2 years.
It's
You know,
lucky it's still. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, I
It's
get
low.
they take on a
Yeah.
salary.
Yeah. I mean, anything's better than Alexander Madison, though. So, I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is a game the Chargers win. I think we should win this, but I thought we should have won the last two also. If we do lose this game, I am fully out on the season. I'm done. But I really truly believe we have this game,
Yep.
but if not, I'm going to fly back to LA and get Brandon Staley's head on a pitchfork.
I gotta ask this for the fans, man. 'Cause I think we're all wondering, man. If you guys lose, are we gonna get another Chargers rant on Monday?
Another one?
Another one, man. That
Uh,
one on Monday was legendary, man.
I mean, it depends. Maybe if it calls for it. If it's like another bad loss, I will make sure my feelings are like heard. Okay.
That was funny, man. Not gonna lie, that was funny. I'm definitely going on the Panthers on Monday, so yeah, be ready for that.
Okay.
Eagles and Bucks, man. Bucks are they looking to continue to make the noise? This would definitely be to show they're legitimate or not. You're facing the Eagles, reigning Super Bowl running ups. So both teams are undefeated. So we'll definitely get to see what team is better. The Bucks defense is playing really well right now, man, and I feel like Jalen Hurts for me looks like he's taking a step back, man. I think with that defensive line, if they can just stop the run, I think they give the Eagles very much fits, but also like Baker's just I don't know if I can count on Baker yet. So
You're not sold?
I don't know, man, because like Mike Evans is like he's gone in the time machine. He went back to 2015. Chris Godwin looks really good. Rashad White looks better than Leonard Fournette ever looked for them.
I don't know about that one, but
Okay,
at
if we're
least for the
talking
bookies.
okay,
For the
minus
Buccaneers.
playoff Lenny, minus playoff Lenny. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Rashad White was like a demon.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely going to show whether or not Baker Mayfield is really that guy. I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna be safe and go with the Eagles here, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks win because the Eagles have definitely looked very beatable these last two
Yeah.
weeks.
I completely agree with that. The Bucks are really like they're making some noise. See if they can,
Yeah,
get even louder now.
yeah,
If they get this win, I don't know if you remember 2 years ago,
mhm.
the Eagles snuck in the playoffs and got smacked by the Bucks. So maybe it's a little
Oh
revenge
yeah,
they feel. But
yeah, yeah,
if the Bucks if they win this game, it is huge. But I think this game doesn't really matter as much for the Bucks. If they lose it, it really
yeah,
way it's whatever.
yeah.
But this seems like another game the Eagles can just do the thing they've been doing again. Just let the team not kill them pretty much. It's like
Mhm.
what I said about Justin Herbert. I don't know if they have that killer instinct this season. They lost
Yeah,
their offensive coordinator, but I still think they're gonna win, but
yeah.
no, it's a scary game, I think, for them.
Okay, let me ask you this then: if the Bucks do win this game, does it? Because there's been a lot of talk who's the best team in the NFC South. Do you think it pushes them to
Oh,
solidify them as the best team in the NFC South with how good the
oh,
Falcons
for
are looking?
sure.
They win this
Yeah, for
game.
sure. Panthers, they're not even there. Falcons, I think they're a good team, but as long as your quarterback is Desmond Ritter, there's
Yeah.
only like a ceiling to where you can go.
Mhm.
Uh, Saints, as long as your quarterback is what's his name? Derek Carr. Gosh,
Yeah.
he's not irrelevant. As long as your quarterback is Derek Carr, you can only go so far. I mean,
I
as
don't
long as
know,
your
man.
quarterback is Baker Mayfield, you can only go so far. Also, all these teams are like pretty much the same.
Just
They're all
question marks,
very
man.
like
Yeah, just
fine,
question
I
marks.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it would put them a step above the rest. It's
Yeah.
like a proving win. The other
Mhm.
two teams haven't really had like big wins against big teams so far.
Yeah.
So I think it would do a lot for their like divisional outlook.
Rams versus Bengals, man. Super Bowl rematch from a couple years ago. Y'all watched it. Aaron Donald gets his first ring. Matt Stafford gets his first ring. The boys, man. The Bengals. I don't know, man. I just like it's Joe Burrow, so you want to root for him, man. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he'll win, man. But just the way they've looked, man, it's just I don't even know, man. Aaron Donald might have a field day on Joe Burrow, to be honest with you. Still want to give him the benefit of the doubt, man. But Puka looks like the best receiver in that division pretty easily, cut dry. Um,
Really? You're already
I love,
saying that? You're sold on the
I
Puka
love,
train?
I love me some Tyler Lockett, man. I love me some DK. But let's be honest, Puka, man, has just been going off lately. I think back-to-back 100-yard games. I think one of the first rookie in a while, actually. So, like, I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow. I'm gonna go Joe Burrow to win the game.
Really?
But, like, the way the Rams looking, man, I wouldn't like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out, man.
Yeah. I didn't think the Rams were going to do anything this
I,
season, but
I didn't
they
either.
stuck in it with the 49ers. They beat the Seahawks. Puka Nakua and Tutu
Puka,
Atwell. You know,
Puka,
the two fakest sounding names out there. I used to clown on the Rams, my Rams friends, for taking Tutu, but maybe I'm wrong now. But
man.
I really want to see the Rams win this game. And
Yeah,
honestly, Joe Burrow's hurt right now. He's not going to be 100% for this game.
yeah.
I have, I think I saw a stat where like it's like what you've been saying. They're like 1-7 in Joe Burrow's 1-7 in like the first 2 weeks of the season. It's rough. I know it's now week 3, but I am sold on this Rams team for now. For now, I could be very easily swayed the other way if they get blown out, but I'm willing to ride the Rams hype train. I think they get this win.
Question: sold on them to do what exactly?
What?
Sold on them to do absolutely what?
I don't
When you
know.
define sold on them, like you said, I'm sold on them. Sold on them how?
I'm sold on them to be a competent, competitive team that if you're not ready for them, they can make you have a really bad day. And I think that might be what we see again. I don't
Wild
know.
card?
I don't
Wild
know.
card? Question mark?
If I'm right,
Wild
I'm
card?
right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it's a fun team as much as I don't
Yeah,
like the Rams. They're a fun team.
yeah. Honestly, I low key do wish my Panthers took in Puka at this point, but yeah, yeah.
2 games.
I,
I'm not sold on yet.
I think like he's gonna get a lot of coverage, shift to him, but once he gets that single coverage and Cooper comes back, yeah, I I think that they're going to be a problem to deal with for
Yeah.
sure.
Once Cooper comes back, they'll. It's just their running game. Kyron Williams. Who knows? But
Yeah, who knows? Who the knows? Because the Bengals just somehow, man, it just don't want to look good right now. So I mean, they'll fuck around and lose the game. So
talking about another Cincinnati team, Cincinnati Reds. Switching to baseball. I don't know if that was whatever. uh, the Reds are in a very heavily contested wild card race with the Cubs and the Marlins, all within half
yep.
a game of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Diamondbacks kind of just separated themselves. They, pretty much took care of business against the Diamondback. I mean, not against the Diamondbacks, against the Cubs. And so they're like 2 games ahead. It's obviously not like they're locked in, but I think they're pretty good. But there's a half a game between Cubs, Marlins, Cincy. They're all teams that, have their flaws, but I think it's a fun, way to end the season, sort of
Okay.
how the AL is. But I think the Cubs will end up, but that's based off almost nothing for me. There's just not much for me to say where one team is like, yes, this team's gonna make it. It's just a really like, playoff race.
I'm gonna be completely honest. With baseball, I really only watch the playoffs. So like the regular season is kind of a little iffy. But me being from Gary, I gotta root for my boys in Chicago. I'm going with the Cubs to win to get that last wild card spot as well, for sure.
Yeah, they got some likable guys. On
Yeah,
the
they
other
do.
side, the AL, there's also another fun wild card race going in between
Mhm.
Seattle, Toronto, Texas, and Houston. There are 2 spots left. For Houston Rangers and the Mariners,
Mhm.
their easiest route is probably winning the division because there's like 1 game between them for that.
Mhm.
And the last place finisher or the third place finisher for that division might just get shafted and lose out because Toronto might get it. So that
Yeah.
might be the easiest way. But those 4 teams are all really good quality teams.
Yeah.
And, one of them is going to have to miss it. So, or 2 of them are going to have to miss it. Sorry. So, it's going to be a really intense like sprint to the last 10 days of the season.
Will
For
be.
me
Yeah,
personally,
definitely.
I have Houston and Toronto having those last spots, but
Okay.
I could be convinced otherwise, but the only thing I don't want to see is
Mm.
the Seattle Mariners making the playoffs. As
Yeah.
much as I hate the Astros, as much as I hate the Rangers, the Mariners cannot make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's all I have
Okay.
to say about that.
What's your hatred for Seattle coming from?
A lot of it comes from like Twitter, just their
Mm.
fans. Some of it's envy. They had the longest like playoff drought in all the sports. Now the
Yeah.
past years they've made it. Now the Angels have one of the longest in all of sports. Uh, but I just love to see them lose. I
Yeah.
love to see any of them lose in the division, except for the A's. They're fun. I kind of like them,
You
but
get with them?
they're just the team I dislike the most right now.
It's kind of weird, the Houston Astros won the last, World Series champions, and now to see them kind of like, I won't say like losing, but like they're definitely in the fighting position right now with the others. I thought they definitely would have kind of been well off into the front. I mean, I think I think like championship, like I don't want to say championship fatigue, but like championship, like kind of getting complacency, is definitely a thing.
Mhm.
So I can definitely see Houston and Toronto taking the last 2 spots though personally. But yeah, I definitely thought it would be a lot more clean cut than what it is right now, specifically.
Yeah, not Rangers. Astros definitely took a step back. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think a lot of it's just they had a really slow start to the season. You
yeah,
know, the Rangers up until like 2 or 3 weeks ago were leading the Hail West the entire year.
it's
They're falling
crazy.
apart,
Yeah,
uh, but maybe they pull it out at the end. They have a good team.
hopefully
Uh,
they do.
and just any other baseball stuff, the Rays and Orioles, they're within like half a game or 1.5 games of the division.
Yep,
So that'll be a fun little fight to see who can win that division because whoever wins it, I'm pretty sure, I'm certain, I know for a fact, will be the 1 seed in the AL. So they get the bye from the whole wild card weekend.
yep.
So, I think both of those teams can like do something big, and I don't know, big in the postseason, but you know,
Yeah.
it's pretty close for that.
Yeah.
And then
No, I
finally,
got.
you got
Oh my
something?
bad. Yeah, I got my boy, one of my boys from Baltimore. So I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Orioles. Kind of, I was looking at it. They're actually they're two losses up on the Rays right now. So
Oh, okay.
that might change things. I mean, I'm not necessarily a baseball guy, so but you know more than me. They might change things. So I'm definitely gonna have. I definitely have the Orioles. Definitely taking the division
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think they have the spot right now,
Mm,
so I think that they will be able to, hold it down, just see it
mm.
out to the end of the season. But
Yep.
things change as they
Yes,
do
sir.
all the time.
You know. You
Yeah.
know.
To round this out, going into the weekend for some football, you know,
Yes, sir.
soccer
Yes, sir.
action.
Mm-hmm.
Not many big matchups in England, except we have one, great matchup we love to see. One of our roommates is a Tottenham fan. It's Arsenal versus Tottenham, the North London derby.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham, maybe they're good this year without Harry Kane. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Who
they're looking
knows?
good so far to start the season. Arsenal looking to rebound after choking the fuck out of the playoffs, or I mean, not the playoffs, out of the Premier League last year.
Yep.
But I think it'll be a really fun game. And then another like middling game, a good game, I guess. Liverpool versus West Ham. They're both towards the top of the table. You know, yeah, Darian, your favorite
Well,
team, Liverpool.
this year I had to get in soccer. All the boys, all the boys in our apartment all love soccer. So, I had to get into it. They all did force me to pick a team, so I did pick Liverpool. So I definitely will be watching the game. I think we're the best team in the Premier League right now.
Hmm,
Man City, I think we're better. I mean, it might be a little bit of bias. So I mean, but I
a little
definitely, I
bit.
definitely have it. I definitely have this one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Liverpool can win it for the Arsenal Tottenham game. I think Arsenal wins it, but it could be like a 1-1 or 2-2 draw for all I know.
Yep. Yep.
But finally, I think the biggest game of this weekend is Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. The Madrid
Yep.
derby, always a blast to watch. Real's a little injured right now, but it's one of the biggest rivalries. I don't know but it's a pretty big rivalry
Yeah, it
in
is.
European soccer. Second biggest one in Spain, that's for sure, behind Real versus Barcelona.
Yep.
But it'll definitely be a fun game, I think, and maybe Atletico stuns Real Madrid.
Who knows? Yeah, I got Real Madrid winning,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah. Um, yeah, for me that definitely does it for the soccer weekend. I don't know about you. That actually does it for the episode recap. We definitely did we get our we should have got all our picks in, right?
I believe we got our picks, but we can go
We got our
back.
picks in. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think we got all our picks in, not looking at it. So yeah, that about does it though for this episode. Like, comment, sub, if you like the video, me, Jason, we do a lot. We would definitely be on camera Monday for people that are asking. We will be back on camera Monday.
Oh,
Definitely,
yeah.
yeah, definitely appreciate all the support on that YouTube video. Definitely took a lot of time for us to edit. We do edit our own stuff. But yeah, man, like definitely like, comment, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.